I was prepared to like Medium Project's latest Suntrip release, Another Galaxy, from the get-go. But I was not prepared to like it this much. The album artwork gets a special shout out here. I gazed past it at first and didn't pay it very much attention. But on closer inspection, it's retro, it's vintage, it's fun. Medium Project is Sergei Petrenko. He's a member of the Cosmic Boys, who have helped solidify the third wave of Goa Trance. If you don't like the new wave of Goa Trance, then this is the guy to blame. But if you do like it,
then no praises go to the Cosmic Boys.
To me, it felt like his last release reimagined what you could do with the genre. The periphery sounds and added effects are what really drove the album home. He filled as many moments as he could with something interesting and exciting that I hadn't heard anyone do before. Not to mention the glorious extended melodies. So there's no doubt that I'm excited to see what he has in store for us now. The first half of track 1 allows us the necessary time to clench up and prepare for the oncoming storm of magnetic waves about to be thrown at us. Even the best Russian spacesuit wouldn't protect you from these radioactive alpha waves. It's a style we're well familiar with now, but if we're to learn anything from Constellations, then we know he knows how to do it bigger and gooder. Well, he shows us what it is after the 4th minute. Gives us a little taste. And I was right, which feels nice to know and to tell people about. But I also feel something else. I feel excited and energized, happy and impressed. It's a good feeling, and it's mine. My feeling. One of my favorites from the album. So now that we have an idea of where this album is going, I guess there's no point holding back. Starry Sky is a clear indication that Sergei agrees with me completely. We get an early melody, which can only mean that we're going to get hit with a barrage of fantastic melodies that morph and flow and change at an interesting and well-timed rate. Once again, I wasn't wrong. The synth quartet on the second last act was a nice surprise, as well executed. And the clashing together of melodic elements for the final act was a fantastic way to round the track off. One of the things I love about Medium Project is the way that he finds new things to bring to the cosmic format. And because we're all so obsessed with evidence these days, I shall present some. The photonic lasers at the start of the track are a great example. The flickering lead is another, and eventually gets integrated with the melody and the big lasers from the start. The final act is better than anything I ever got for Christmas. Dad? The guy has ideas. He has great ideas. He has a nice smile and seems friendly. I'm a fan. Which I know I'm not meant to be as a music reviewer so that I can provide you with the closest objective analysis I possibly can. But honestly, fuck objective analysis. Fuck it to death. I don't give 3 shits about it. Sergei is the motherfucking man, and tracks like this as well as his sweet smile are the reason for it. Devilfish is a fun title, and unsurprisingly fantastic track. But really, what do we expect? The melody drives at us with insurmountable power and frenzies of extra-zodiacal dust. But that's not even what makes this track so good. It's everything else that's going on. The space mask breathing noise, the vibrating fluttering acid, the retro sci-fi sounds that come in after the 2.5 minute mark, and the vocal samples from The Matrix Reloaded. They're all extraordinary and have me red-pilled as fuck. I'm awake. I can hear again for the first time. And it's not all enslavement by the AI and the androids with their beeping and their booping. It's beautiful. It's really quite nice. Measurement X is just about perfect. I know I say that a lot, but this life has more perfection than we like to think. Screeching raw flares fly into the depths of space, and a melody over it all hypnotically glides us through the universe. Forget everything I said about the periphery sounds that make Medium Project so good. Forget it all. All this song needs is the shooting flares of sound and that melody. It doesn't miss a beat. It doesn't drop the ball. It's galactic wizardry. It's cosmic witchcraft. It's just so damn good. A lot of people's favourite track from the album, and I get it, quite frankly. I understand. Lone Star is endomorphic and photosynthesizes my synapses. There's no time for looking into those words to see if they make sense. There's no time for anything but power and focus as we propulse past neutrinos, around quasars, through a Vela pulsar and into a solar system with one lonely but fabulous star. It's a euphoric piece with several orchestral symphonies. Some might say how the midsection of the track doesn't do too much. But not me, I got lost in it before the short break and the final act's smooth, silky bubblegum synth. You want a criticism? I'll give you a criticism. That smooth, silky synth at the end could have been there the whole time, but it wasn't, and that's okay. Damn, not such a great criticism. Deep Dive gets into its full stride just after the halfway point. The melody takes over, uplifts us, and then puts on a cosmic show that I appreciate and enjoy. It's a cool melody, and doesn't care what people think about it. Which is great and all, but it also means it's depriving itself of enjoying all the compliments that it deserves. Dog! I heard that track you did. It was pretty good? That track was like cool and... The track is like cool and shit, dog. Dude, the track was like rad, man. Just the way that with the going note, Heading into Euphoria, full speed Medium Project blasts exactly 12 holes in the fabric of space-time before filling them up with sticky, gooey, rainbow-coloured supernovas. It reminds me a little of one of his biggest tracks to date, Midnight, but has a little more jubilance to it and a little less chaos. Other Lifeform starts off real sexy and trancy, which I know is a weird thing to say for a song that literally fits inside of a genre called Goa Trance. But fuck it, it's the truth. What do you want from me? I've never heard Medium Project do what he does in this track before. It's pretty damned impressive, but more importantly than that, it takes away these heinous, evil thoughts that I've been having, and fills my mind with glorious hymns of angelic particles and orbital anthologies of poetic comets. The intro synths cause my mind to melt and drip, the beeping early melody is mellissonant, and the final melody, that's also mellissonant. Any trip to Jupiter requires patience and a smooth flight path. Everyone knows that. But when you reach the outer limits of that big cloudy boy, then go ham and have some fun. Medium Project gets it, and keeps his track smooth and gliding. He couldn't help himself with a couple of special crazy moments around the 5-minute mark, and quite frankly it was incredibly risky and irresponsible. But I'll be called Susan before I say that it didn't pay off. Sergey likes to go deep and cosmic in his outro tracks, and I respect that. Cometa and Constellation of Aries both send me to my happy place every time I hear them. Flight to Jupiter doesn't exactly have the same effect. This is not a problem, I'm not upset or anything. Well, at the very least, as an adult, I've learned how to repress my feelings and bury them deep under superficial personality traits and destructive habits that bring me short-term enjoyment, while the pile of pain builds and compiles into a messy swamp of rage that becomes so convoluted and difficult to deal with that there's nothing to do but wait until it all boils over into... nothing. When I just listen to this song and resolve all of my problems in an instant. Just as long as no one calls me Susan. It's not quite as euphorically glorious as the Constellation of Aries and Cometa tracks were, but it has its own edge, and the comparisons are only relevant in the first place if that was in fact what he was going for. I certainly do not know. It's definitely yet another update on his style. It has funky contours and more space around it for parts to breathe, which is hard to do in the cosmos. But Medium Projects knows how to handle hard things. Like knobs, dials, unique and fun compositions, and a distinct sound that you can get lost in. The album before this took Cosmic Goa Trance to another level completely, and his first release on Global Sect was deep and entrancing. Every release of a Medium Project ends up being my favourite release. This one is possibly louder and bolder, much closer to the Cosmic Dimension style, with big huge melodies and screeching acid. It's possibly my favourite style of any style that exists, and other times, it's my second favourite style. Much like everything else these days, it exists on a spectrum. I think bravo. I think well done. I think that I wish I didn't like it so much, so that I could prove to you all that I know how to give objective opinions based on musical talent and sonic arrangements, and there very well may have been plenty of those. But alas, I'm just one fella, enjoying the process of sticking another fella's sound in his ears. One day aliens are going to come down to Earth to end civilization, but someone's going to play them this, and then they're going to say,
Wow.
another banging blaster for the library and for the cosmos.